Oh yeah. The thing I'm really loving about making these videos is the questions that get asked, because they kind of like, they help bring clarity to me sometimes, you know. I was asked an awesome question this morning. Am I a good person? And is there a moral imperative? Awesome. No one ever asked me if it's going to rain at 3 o'clock. Just nice, simple questions like, am I a good person? And is there a moral imperative? So let's break it down. Let's start with the moral imperative, okay? I think that morals are used as weapons against us. So if you think about it, all the morals that have kind of been imposed on us, they change over time. So something that wasn't morally acceptable 200 years ago is now no one even blinks an eye at. Okay, and you can be considered to be a moral person with a completely different set of values than what you would have been, say, even 100 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago. Plus, the other thing is that, like, morals can change geographically. So what's morally acceptable in the UK may not be morally acceptable in Russia. There's not judging anyone. I'm just saying that they change, okay? Because I don't judge based on morals. I don't know if you ever noticed, but if anyone ever describes someone else to me as being, oh, he's very moral, you know, more often than not, you're going to find them quite hard to get on with, you know, because generally morals get, the idea of being moral gets, like, it usually just means judgmental. So, yeah, I'm glad that people don't really consider me to be a moral person. And coming back to my point about morals being used as weapons against us. So if you look at all the kind of like standardized morals that are imposed on us, right from watching cartoons on kids' TV, right through to school and parents, all the rest of it. Okay, most of the time these people have never questioned where morals come from. But we're told everything like, okay, you mustn't lie. Okay? Now, I understand that. But the very people that are telling us that we must never lie are liars. And all they're really doing is the same as like, you mustn't steal. Well, the people enforcing that steal. They go into other people's countries, they steal their resources, they steal our money, they steal our time, they steal our energy. And yet they'll tell you that you mustn't steal. Okay? You mustn't. It's all about like slanting the playing field, isn't it? You're not allowed to do anything wrong. And of course that works perfectly for the people that know that ultimately there's no morals and there's no moral consequence for their actions, and it just allows them to constantly outplay us all the time. I mean, one of the things that you hear when I've talked to people that would argue my position is they just turn around and say people wouldn't do that. I mean, I always say, no, you're confused. You wouldn't do that. They would, but you're judging them by your own standards. One of the first things that happens in the like satanic fields and or whatever you want to call it, but these empowerment fields that these elite run in, is that they devoid them of morals, because they know that I mean, a moral person could never become the president of the United States or you know, head of the church, and they're not compatible with the things they have to do. So, but is there a moral imperative? I would say no, there isn't. Like I said, in your prime state, you are perfect. You're already perfect. Okay, there's no one to steal from. There's no one to lie to. There's only one. So ultimately, it's not about being good or bad. It's about being the truth. You see, the truth isn't good and bad. And the truth, as we discussed before, wasn't different 100 years ago to what it is now. And it's not different in Russia to what it is now. So I would say that I'm not a good or bad person. I am the truth. Does that sound egotistical? But if it's the truth, isn't it? You see? So if I'm the truth, I can't be good or bad. But yet you talk to people that know me and they say that I'm a kind, polite guy that's nice enough and would do anything for you if I could. But the reason why I'm like that is not because I consider myself to be a good person. It's because of the truth. I have empathy for others because I know deep down and intrinsically that we are all one thing experiencing itself subjectively through these infinite different forms. So therefore, I am the other, and the other is me. So I should imagine if there's any moral that I follow, it would just be that I treat others as I would be treated. And the reason for that is because ultimately there are no others. There is only you. So if I'm honest, I'm honest because if I'm lying to myself. And if I'm stealing from myself. If I'm hurting myself. Killing, taking, I'm doing it all to myself. That's how I perceive it. Now, that might make me a reasonable person to be around. And you could be mistaken for thinking that it's because I'm a good person. But I'm not. Okay? I'm not a good person. I am truth. And the truth is. And the truth does as the truth is. Or it's not the truth. So, have I always been perfect? No. Am I perfect now? Yes and no. Yes and no. Do I make what I consider to be mistakes? Yes, of course I do. But am I also a perfect piece of the infinite? Yes, I am. Okay. And of course, where I would say the ego gets taken out of that is because I know deeply that you are also a perfect piece of the infinite. I'm not above you. I'm not below you. Okay? I'm good and bad, and I am neither. I could be mistaken for having morals, but I'm not really judging anyone. I'm not really judging anyone else. So I'm not morally upstanding like that, you know. I don't have a set of rules that if you break them, that I'm like, ooh, they're a bad person. Or they're, you know. To me, it's not about as much about good and bad as it is about being aware or not aware. People that do harmful things to people, they do it because of lack of awareness. And again, when we're talking about these elites, yeah, of course, it would be easy to look at what they did. I mean, most of it's stomach turning. And it would be easy to say, these guys are evil. These entities are evil. The entity that was brought to me that night to end me, it felt evil. But it's not really. It's not really evil. It's not really bad. It's just unaware. It's just unaware of the truth. And like I said to you, in the pleroma, or the greater reality, or whatever you want to call it, the bigger dream, they don't have the police forces and the rules and the commandments and courts and all the rest of it. And it's not because they're good people and better than you. That's not what it's about. They behave according to what they know. Everybody does. Okay? Even when people are sometimes doing stupid things in this world, they'll go, I know it's wrong. I know it's not good for me, but I'm doing it anyway. Okay? Right, fair enough. Fair enough. But if you really knew, then you would behave accordingly. Okay? You know, and it's as simple as, like, if I had a pot of boiling water in front of me, and I know that if I'm going to stick my hand in that water, I'm going to suffer physical pain, I'm going to suffer physical damage, I'm not going to stick my hand in the water. And it's because I know. Like my son, for instance, okay, like I said before, he has special needs and stuff. And he would stick his hand in boiling water if you put it in front of him. But he's not doing that because he's bad. He's just unaware of the consequences for himself. So he will do things like that. If you're aware and you're aware of consequence, then you act accordingly. It's as simple as that. Okay? No good and bad needed. No moral imperative needed. Okay? Just the truth. I honestly believe. No. I honestly know that the truth will set you free. And I honestly know that the truth is the answer to everything that we're talking about. So let's get there, guys. Take care. See you tomorrow.